Hello everyone, welcome to my video. This video I wanted to make about the Electro Voice 635A, which is the mic that I'm speaking into right now. This is a very vibey kind of vintage mic that has been around since the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and they've even made some modern reproductions, but they've recently stopped making them. Why? I don't know, but this has been talked about in a lot of forums and everything about this being a very true to the sound kind of thing, omnidirectional, so no proximity effect. I can get closer to the mic and you won't really hear any more bass. You'll just hear my voice a little louder, which is pretty cool, right? So what I wanted to do with this mic is compare it to some other mics that I do own that I typically will use for different scenarios. For example, with electric guitar, miking up the cabs, I'll use my Sennheiser e906 because I love how it sounds. It does all of the electric guitar tones beautifully, and I've not used it with this mic, and I'd love to see how it holds up against this mic right here. And for the vocals and the acoustic guitars, I typically will use a condenser Rode NT1 mic, and I would love to see how this mic will hold up against these type of mics that you can get very easily, and everybody uses these type of mics. But these mics are getting harder to find, and I just want to see what all the buzz is about. So really interesting video. I think you guys will be in for a treat. Let's go ahead and get started. This will be really cool. I'll do the Fender, I'll do the Vox. Let's go all in. Let's do it. Hello, this is my voice being spoken into the Rode NT1 condenser microphone about 6 inches away from the capsule. Hello, this is my voice being spoken into the Electro Voice 635A omnidirectional mic about 6 inches away from the capsule. Well everyone, what did you think of this Electro Voice 635A vintage mic being stacked up against my Sennheiser mic, my Rode condenser mic, a lot of those modern mics being compared to this vintage mic? I'll tell you what I think. Definitely this vintage mic kind of sticks out with the higher frequencies and the mids, and it cuts out all those lower frequencies that you probably wouldn't have needed back in the 60s. And a lot of the earlier music, when you hear it, it doesn't have a lot of low frequency content. A lot of our modern music does now, but this doesn't. So if you're going for that vintage vibe, this really excels at that, in my opinion. I really like it in my voice, which is why I'm using it in the intro and the outro of this video. So I'm probably gonna stick to using this mic when it comes to my vocals. But when it comes to my acoustic guitars, I do notice that it cut out the low frequencies, and it makes me feel like I should take a little bit more leniency and be a little more brave when coming up to the sound hole. Fun to experiment. And with my guitar cabs, well, you know, my Fender and my Vox, I feel that it does the Fender thing, vintage Fender thing really well actually. Those lower frequencies get cut out and it sounds really cool. The Vox, I feel that it does do a vintage Vox sound, but I feel like with the Vox, it's already cutting out some of those lower frequencies. I'm not really sure if this really makes that much of a difference, but I do like how it sounds on it. Overall, I think this mic, for a lot of people, will check a lot of boxes. For me, it's a really cool tool to have, and I will probably be using it for several projects, so I'm excited to own it. Do I think that it meets the hype? I don't know. I feel like there may be some other mics out there that could probably meet the same needs. You know, with an omnidirectional mic, you could probably get some other mics that meet the same needs, but hey, I wanted to test this cool thing out and I got my answers, and I like to have it. It's a cool tool to have. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you guys think. I'll read all of your comments and I will catch you in the next one.